believe we are live again.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Welcome back to Lock and Load Game Fest 2017 in Bellevue, Washington from Privateer Press. This is round 2 of the Iron Gauntlet.
Sure is.
We've got 2 new players.
Well, I mean, not new to the game.
Well,
just new to
2
us.
players that weren't on the stream earlier. Yeah.
2 beautiful players, yes.
So they're both named Alan, so there may be some confusion here.
They're both named
Aaron. They're
Aaron.
both named Aaron. One's last name is Alan, so I'm already confused.
Yes. So we're going to call them by their last names, which is Alan and Whale.
Yeah. So we've got Aaron Whale and Aaron Allen.
Correct.
So when we say Alan, it's not his first name, it's his last name. And Whaley is a pronunciation of the other name.
Brilliant.
It does look on the screen, W-A-L-E, I like whale, but it's pronounced Whaley. Okay, so that's the players. So what are they playing?
So Aaron Allen is playing Convergence with Axis. The scenario that they're going to be playing is Entrenched, which is showing up on the screen at the moment. And Aaron Whaley is playing Dark Host, which was a new theme force released at this show that focuses on Banes.
So we've got a Convergence army with a lot of galvanizers in it.
12 to be exact.
Yeah,
12 to be exact.
He does have 1 heavy.
Yes, 1 heavy. He's got 1 inverter, 12 galvanizers, a transfinite emergence projector, and then a heaping pile of servitors.
And all those servitors are free in that theme force.
Yes.
And then the other theme force is the Bane theme force that
Dark
recently
Host.
went through CID.
Just out. It is Asphyxius 2, or Lich Lord Asphyxius. He's got a Death Ripper, a Cankerworm, a Desecrator, Bane Lord Tartarus, a Soul Trapper, Derek Wraith, 2 units of Bane Riders, 1 at maximum strength, 1 at minimum strength, and then 2 full units of Bane Warriors, both with unit attachments, or command attachments.
This is also interesting because when we talked to one of the players earlier, he was expecting Ghost Fleet.
Yes.
So he's not facing what he was probably most afraid of facing.
Yes, and I think the Cryx player here chose Dark Host because of this forest here was very well positioned for the 2 smoke banks, or fog banks, that Dark Host brings along with it. Because he can make that very large portion of the board that cannot be charged or attacked by range.
Yep.
So I think that's one of the reasons why that list selection was made. Also, the Dark Host theme force hits very, very hard, and there's a lot of boxes to chew through against this axis.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Dark Shroud and other things, and some heavy punching.
Ton of Weapon Masters.
Yep.
Ton of Weapon Masters. And against Axis, it's very important to have reasonably long threat ranges, so the Bane Riders can really help out there, whereas the Ghost Fleet Pirates may or may not have been able to make it into combat there.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of countercharging from this Axis list.
There are, 13 lights if you include the corollary. Axis has countercharge, and then the Inverter also gains countercharge with his Field Marshal.
Yeah.
And then there's also the, oh man, I didn't even think about that. Some of the servitors have it as well.
Yeah.
The reflex servitors.
Yes.
So that will be exciting.
So yeah, they'll be countercharging all over the place.
Lots of interrupted turns.
So we'll see if all those Bane mans can chop their way.
It's true. They are only defense 12, so the Galvanizers will have a pretty solid chance of hitting them on the countercharge with Axis's Mat 7.
Okay.
Because the Convergence Warjacks inherit the melee and ranged attack scores of their controlling Warcaster.
And our scenario today has a couple of zones out in the middle of the table. And it's not kill box, so if the Cryx player wants to stay away from those countercharges, he doesn't have to worry about being off the board too much.
I mean, Axis is not particularly known for his assassination game, so I think he can play pretty far forward. I don't think kill box will be an issue there. Asphyxius, on the other hand, can do a pretty good job of assassinating, so I think it might actually be Axis that's hiding in the back away from his battle group.
And those zones have objectives in them.
Correct, yes.
So the players will have objective choices as well.
Yep, and they will,
So there's some of the galvanizers.
It's probably about half, yeah. I do like the central location of this transfinite emergence projector because it's going to apply a lot of pressure to this infantry list, and because it gets many different sprays, not only does it ignore the cover located in the center of the field, the rubble there, but it can also really threaten the Bane Riders, which are deployed centrally as well. So it does look like the Cryx player has decided to deploy their Bane Riders in the center of the board to really threaten that, and it might even lead to a scenario push later in the game if they can claim the center of the board and then try and lock the Axis player out of their friendly zone.
And for anybody who's not aware of what that big red and gray thing is, that is rubble. That's one of the new terrain types in the 3rd edition of the game.
Yes, and this is one of the new fabrications from our great terrain department. So it is a area piece of terrain, so just the template on the bottom itself is the rubble, but it's got those beautiful 3D sections put on top to really bring it in.
And rubble is rough terrain and cover.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we are advanced deploying stuff on the Convergence side of the board.
And these are the reflex servitors.
Reflex servitors.
Which the Banes do have to be pretty careful about. They do have countercharge, so just running directly at them will cause losses for sure. They have a pretty high power, I believe 14. So should not have a big issue destroying the Banes. Even the Bane Riders could have an issue, including Bane Warriors. So here we go. Our Cryx player, Mr. Whaley, is taking his first turn. Moving those trees out of the way. All Banes have Ghostly, so they can really occupy the terrain very, very well. And one of the benefits of the Dark Coast Theme Force is they also gain Prowl. So while they are inside of that forest or inside of those clouds that he brought along with him, they will receive the benefit of stealth. And there we go. So he is measuring out the charge distance of the reflex servitors at the moment, making sure that he doesn't enter that and lose any unnecessary miles.
Yep.
He also checked to make sure that he wasn't more than 3 inches of this forest right here.
Yeah.
To make sure that he can draw a line of sight.
Yeah, he's trying to keep those Bane Riders as safe as possible from every possible threat.
While also being able to charge back out, because if he's too far back in the forest, he won't be able to draw a line of sight.
Yeah. There's only really a problem for that bulbous chunk of that forest that sticks straight out. The guys on the edges, they're fine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
But in competitive games of War Machine, positioning is hugely important. So even just remembering to check things like that can really turn the tides of games.
Yeah. With pre-measuring allowed entirely in the new edition, you should always check to make sure that you are not misjudging something by a hair. And those Banes are also trying to get as much of that prowl stealth as I can get.
Not that I believe there's too many ranged attacks inside of the Convergence list, but it never hurts.
I believe it is the TEP and the elimination servitors. So
correct. So it'll definitely be useful against the elimination servitors, but the emergence projectors sprays will ignore it.
Yeah. And that Soul Trapper's over there backing those guys up.
There's not going to be too many souls going around in this game, I don't think. Excellent. And it looks like we're getting some pre-measurement going on at the moment for where Asphyxious is going to cast his Caustic Mist Clouds. He's creating a very large portion of the board that Mr. Allen will not be able to see.
Yeah.
Between the Theme Force, the Forest, and the clouds. And then he also has the objective that creates a cloud. So that is a hefty cloud wall that's going up there.
And checking that TEP, just make sure that this cloud wall is going to matter.
Yes. Well, the TEP is a model that you want to be very aware of what it can threaten.
Yes.
It can output very large amounts of damage very quickly. And there we are. The Cankerworm is towing in that zone and staying outside of the threat range of the emergence projector.
That was Banelord Tartarus moving up to support his friendly Bane models.
So I am interested to see exactly what Mr. Whale's plan is against all these galvanizers. Because as we discussed right at the very beginning, the counter charge is going to be very powerful He has a primarily melee force and is certainly threatened by the Mat 7, POW 12 of the Galvanizers, either in their activation or in their countercharges. So how he approaches this game is going to be very important, and I think it's going to be very dependent on how he decides to use his Caustic Mist Clouds to block charge lanes and make sure he doesn't lose too many guys on the entry on his own turn.
Yeah, the Galvanizers only have one initial attack, but they're getting a pretty good mat from Axis being their Warcaster.
And they do kind of get that free attack with the counter charges. So
yeah.
This could be a very difficult game for the Cryx here. And here we go, Mr. Allen.
And Cryx is finished.
He's jumping right in. Convergence does not get power-up, so he does have to allocate focus to run all of his Warjacks here, but just one usually.
Yeah.
Just one, because he can...
Inducting lets you bounce that focus all the way down your chain fairly easily, especially in the very first round.
I would also imagine we're going to see a Iron Aggression thrown onto the inverter here. And kind of as we expected, these Reflex Servitors are advancing just to kind of control these portions of the board.
Yeah. And digging in so that it'll be harder to eliminate them with the limited shooting and the spells from the Cryx side.
We are
measuring the threat range of those Bane Riders.
Absolutely. And I think this is going to be one of the Cryx players' greatest assets here is that those Bane Riders are pretty quick. So it's going to be rather difficult to stay outside of their threat range. So they're going to probably get a pretty good strike in there.
Yeah.
And Axis is going to have to plan his counter charges very well and plan his positioning so that he doesn't lose too much on that alpha.
Yeah.
And there we go. We see that induction kind of chaining through the Galvanizers here. With that one allocated focus, he's able to just pass it down the line. So that sort of staggered advance that's going on at the moment lets anything that runs up to engage the front line stop it from countercharging. The back line can then countercharge to try to free up the front line. So it's a very good positioning from Mr. Allen here.
And the other benefit the Cryx player has in this is that some of these Bane-related models changed recently. So I'm sure there will be a lot of war room referencing and table talk discussing the public information about those few things if Aaron Allen, the Convergence player, is a little shaky on his memories about what happened.
Yeah, so one of the changes that I really like, especially in this matchup, is the Vengeance being added to Bane Riders.
Yes.
I think it will give him a lot of